Perhaps my biggest gaming hot take is that the Call of Duty franchise has never really been that good. I know that's going to make a lot of people upset, but that is my opinion. I've never found the Call of Duty franchise to be that entertaining or interesting. I mean, some of the campaigns were kind of fun, and I guess zombies provided an endless amount of fun for a lot of us whenever we were growing up, but here's the problem. The reason Call of Duty was so successful is because it was one of the only multiplayer online console games available during the peak of its time. The original Call of Duties on like the PlayStation 2 and that were not that popular. It really wasn't until the boom of online gaming with the PS3 and the Xbox 360 that Call of Duty started really getting its heels into the American public and going all around the world. I mean, we had things like Halo and the occasional Battlefield, but Call of Duty always reigned supreme because it really didn't have that much competition. I would say that if Call of Duty started releasing in today's market, where it's just way more accessible to get online multiplayer games, including on console, I don't know that it would perform as good as it did back in the day. But again, that's just my opinion and speculation. The point is that a lot of people who are nostalgic for Call of Duty and who think Call of Duty is one of the greatest, one of the greatest game franchises ever created, are now having this, I wouldn't say new discussion or new opinion, but more loud opinion in recent years that Call of Duty gaming creators are ruining gaming. Or at the very least, they don't paint it as Call of Duty gaming creators, they're painting it as content creators in general. Content creators have ruined gaming. And their evidence for this is things like content creators instantly getting like some high tier skin or camo, I think they're called, or speed running the Easter egg in the new zombies mode for content and things like that. Basically, what people are saying is that because gaming content creators, Call of Duty content creators specifically, are rushing to get the best and the biggest and the hardest to earn stuff as a form of content, then it's their fault that gaming has become so sweaty and become so ridiculous, because everybody is basically wanting to be, not everybody, but it feels like everybody wants to be a gaming creator. And so in order to be a gaming creator, a lot of people think you just have to be the very best that no one ever was on some Ash Ketchum headassery. The problem is that there's a lot of different types of content when it comes to gaming. I myself sit in the discussion category, which also includes things like video game reviews and general speculation about gaming and gaming culture. That's what this channel is slowly working its way towards. That's what it's slowly doing. And that's because, well, I'm just not mechanically good at gaming, and I really never have been. I have been good at gaming in the past. There was a time in the past where I was actually one of the best players in this small little game called Rumble Fighter, which I will talk about one day as soon as I can find a fucking match on the damn thing. But the point is that I believe, at least in my heart, that gaming content creators did not ruin gaming or make it more sweaty. Gaming content consumers did. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, it's you guys, it's y'all's fault. Because what performs the best in the gaming space? Is it funny little haha montage clips? No. How do you think organizations like FaZe and SOAR made their name? It wasn't from haha funny montages, it was from skill-based montages, it was from trick shots, it was from the idea that somebody could put so much time, so much effort into this game that they could achieve a skill level that's higher than yours. And as time went on, the challenge of making gaming content that was showing off skill level became bigger and bigger and bigger, until eventually the idea of speed running the hardest to achieve skin, or speed running things that people knew were going to be in the game, or killing as many people as you can in 20 seconds, or whatever the case may be, this all became the newest form of gaming content because you guys consumed it. Because you guys clicked on it, you guys watched it, you guys made it popular. The reason everybody thinks they have to be the next very best player in the game in order to be a good content creator is because that's what happened. I remember when Fortnite first came out, the very first people who were getting up there in Fortnite in order to be famous were the people who were just inherently really good at the game, including people like Ninja, who, for all of his ridiculous takes over the years, is still a relatively good player and does know what he's doing. I mean, one of the most popular gaming creators out there is Shroud, a man who, and I'm gonna say this out of the love of my heart, I enjoy watching Shroud. I really, really do. I mean that. I love Shroud. Is a really, really, really personality devoid person. I'm sorry. Like I said, I love the man. I think he's wholesome. I think he's cool. I mean, I might be wrong about the wholesome part, but he's very, very skilled, but that's kind of all he has. He's a very boring individual overall. Watching Shroud is kind of like, it's kind of like watching paint that dries in a very satisfying way. Shroud doesn't have a personality he puts forward. He just is really, really, really good at video games. And he's become one of the most successful people in that regard. If you look at any multiplayer video game and the biggest content creators that are specific to that video game, 9 times out of 10, they're also good at the game. You either have to be really, really good at the game or you have to be very loud and eccentric, right? You're either Tens, Shroud, Asu, or you're Tim the Tat Man, Nick Mercs, Dr. Disrespect, right? As much as I hate the latter two, you know, both Nick Mercs and Dr. Disrespect for their truly awful behavior, you know, Nick Mercs with the transphobia, Dr. Disrespect with the, you know, self-admitted messaging minor thing. As much as I hate the two of them, I'm not going to deny why they became famous. Why they became famous is because they have larger than life personalities. And on the flip side, like I said, you have Tens, Asu, Shroud, who are these people who can pick up literally any video game that's a shooter and just start dominating the entire lobby. And so because these are the two types of content that very often get the most clicks, the now creators have to decide between whether or not they're going to be really good at the video game or really loud. And speaking as somebody who is loud, who has a larger than life personality, and that's what carries my content, that's the harder of the two. I'm not trying to like pull your chain here. I'm not trying to be like, oh, actually what I do is much harder. I mean it. Most people do not have what it takes to be a performer, because performing is a skill. It's a very difficult skill. And the easier skill to hone between being mechanically good and being a performer is the being mechanically good. If you are mechanically good, it just takes a lot of practice and a lot of dedication. But being a performer requires you to know more than the inner workings of a game and practicing how that game functions. Being a performer requires you to know things like human psychology, what makes people laugh, what makes people engage, what keeps them going. It's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people just completely disregard how much it takes to be a larger than life entertainer. There's a difference, right? There's a difference between coming out and being like, oh my fucking god, holy crap, I'm gonna shoot myself, that was such bullshit, oh my god, and then when you get a kill, you're like, ha ha, I teabagged your mom's face, right? Or whatever. Those aren't like really good examples. I'm trying to give you what I'm saying, right? You need to be able to entertain the masses, and if you can't do it by being a good personality, you need to do it by being insanely skilled. And basically the internet has taught content creators that if you're not one of these two things, you won't make it. And so when people are first starting out and trying to figure out what makes good content, they look left, they look right, and they decide that the one that requires them to just play the game that they enjoy is the one they would rather go for. And that's also why so many people think that all streaming is, or all gaming content is just playing video games and making money. They don't think about everything else that goes into it: marketing, editing, script writing, producing, all this other crap. They don't think about all of that because all they see is somebody like Shroud leaning back in his chair, barely saying a word for like 30 minutes and getting millions of dollars every single year because he's playing a video game. That's all they see. That's all these people see. And so when you see content creators rushing to be the very best, like no one ever was, on some Ash Ketchum headassery, yes, I did use that joke twice, sue me. I believe that a lot of them are doing it just because they don't want to put in what it takes to be an entertaining personality. But I also don't blame them, because you as the consumer, you as the people clicking on the videos, have taught them that that is exactly what you want to see. And then that leads to problems like the entire skill-based matchmaking debate. Now, I'm going to do a full video just dedicated to that debate itself, but one thing that I wanted to point out was this Twitter thread that I came across. This guy did, quote unquote, the world's fastest nuke ever in Call of Duty, which was 1 minute and 21 seconds is what it looks like. And this person, H2O, retweeted it and said, every COD streamer being so violently anti-skill-based matchmaking makes more sense when you realize they just want to farm clips like this all day and nothing else. And this has actually been one of my major arguments against people who are against SBMM. Again, I'm gonna have an entire video dedicated just to SBMM and why I think it's necessary and things like that. But what I want you guys to realize is that this is exactly what a lot of these people want. You see, the problem is that in order to get clips like this, in order to get ones where you're just mowing down entire lobbies and making yourself look incredibly skilled, you have to occasionally get lobbies where it's just a bunch of baby players. You got to get lobbies that has a 16-year-old kid who can only play for an hour a night because his mom has him in things like basketball and debate club, and he's got to do his homework, and he also has to start applying for colleges and thinking about his future because we as a society for some reason rush children to grow up way too fucking fast. And then on the other hand, you've got the single dad who's got 3 children and only can play for like 1 or 2 matches every single night because he works 3 jobs and he really just wants to relax. You have to have those lobbies, because if you don't, if you're constantly facing people of your own skill level, then clips like this get much harder to do. They get much harder to watch. And if you scroll through the comment section, you'll see a lot of people with basically the same sentiment. Oh shit, I got a nuke, and then the clip is just, you know, that. You know, it's not to, I mean, okay, so apparently it's not a lot of people with the same sentiment. I think I was wrong on that one. But the point is like I've been talking about, this is all in the interest of trying to be the greatest content creator you can by just being skillful. You just have to be skillful. And in a lot of these people's minds, if you're good enough at the game, if you're a talented enough player, then you just get free exposure. And again, I don't blame content creators for this. I blame you. I blame the consumer. You guys are the ones that watch this shit. You're the ones that bolstered this shit. So of course content creators are going to do what works. That's the thing about content creation I feel like a lot of people don't understand. A lot of content creators, actually, honestly, I would say pretty much all content creators, myself included, tend to do what they know is going to make money, is going to get views. Because I want you to imagine you spend 5, 6, 7 hours on a video and it gets 10 views. That shit's demoralizing. It really does hurt your self-esteem. And if you're like me and you're a full-time content creator and you use this to pay your bills, it also hurts your ability to pay your fucking bills. Now, creators who are like in the multi-millions and everything, right? Like creators who are, like I said, Asmongold, XQC, Tim the Tatman, Ninja, you know, Shroud, all of these guys, they have less of an excuse because they pretty much have all the money they could ever fucking need, and now they're just doing this for the shit of it. But at the end of the day, the goal of a content creator is to make content that people want to watch. And so when you show them what you want to watch, you can't be mad when they make stuff that you want to watch. I hope that all makes sense. I feel like I've been rambling for too long, but let me know what you think down below. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen. Now, if you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Need more Kaiser in your life? Well, I've got you covered. Check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload full gameplays, stream compilations, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also upload a daily short with all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.